Hey y'all, Recap with D back with another review. First, before I get into this review though, I just want to say I'm sorry, I'm late. I was supposed to upload episode 8 video review last week, but I have gotten the bright idea to start a new project venture that is consuming the little bit of time that I had to do my videos. Now, from the jump, this new venture has been opening some very big doors for me, and I'm very grateful for that. Nonetheless, I will be sure to try to keep up with my videos at the very least. So bear with me on that. Now, back to this review, Kandi and the Gang, episode 8 and 9. I left off wondering about this explosion with Dominique on episode 7. So we're going to get to that in a minute. But episode 8 starts out with Mama Joyce, Aunt Nora trying to hook up Aunt Bertha on a dating site. Lord Jesus. I don't really know what to say about that, so I'm going to just leave that one alone. Anyway, Shawndreca, Dominique, and June, July, August meet up, and June, July decided to check Dominique, and I can appreciate that. I love seeing that, a man just taking up for his woman, no matter how small the issue is. Dominique said it was a weird situation, and, with her, I understand that. She's more of the spaced out type. Not really she wasn't doing it in a spiteful way or anything. She just didn't really read the room. And so I'm gonna have to give her a pass on that one. That's just me. And that's just because of my background in knowing how she is. She just probably just wasn't there to really think about that like that. So she gets a pass in my book. Not being biased, but she gets a pass. But I do appreciate June, July, August, taking up for Shawndreca the way that he did throughout this episode. Anyway, Brian did not have his wig on. He still looked handsome and lovely, and I still love him. June, July, August decides to pull up in the big body Benz with the bows. Okay. I should have recorded this video last week because surely I missed that. Anyway, June, July, August, go ahead with your bad self. I like that little June bug. Okay. Patrick was looking a little salty, and, he just couldn't let June, July slide with the $1 bill. He definitely was hating. But surely I'm gonna need Junebug to have $1 ready at any moment, pulling up in a Benz, whether it's in cash or plastic. Be ready. But he did pull out his dollar. But I still do think Patrick was hating. You know what would be a sidebar? Sorry. You know what would be real good? If they come out with season 2 and the storyline switches up, and then it turns out to be that Safari and Patrick not working out, June, July, August, and Shawndreca not working out, and then Patrick and Shawndreca gets back together. That would be some nice entertainment, because the way Patrick was looking, it looked like it was really bothering him. But that's just me. That'd be cool if they go along with that storyline for season 2. Moving on. Shawndreca, she's leaving her post again. But she had to come and look at the car, so I understand. Patrick was still looking real mad. I don't know now. I don't know if the producers told him to look like that or not, but he couldn't have that face. Anyway, everybody's coming outside, leaving the restaurant unattended to see the bands. Typical, folks, different folks, leaving their post unattended. All in all, I'm happy for Dreca though. I am happy for her. I hope she's still driving it after the show. Moving on. Now, the part where June, July, August stepped to Torrin, Rashard, and Brian and gave his input on the situation from the party, and Shawndreca being invited and not being able to come in. I really like June, July. He is a nice guy. He stands up for his woman and literally does it. This is a, I would say this is a small situation. Like him talking to Dominique was justified. Maybe she shouldn't have left her friend, you know. But I think talking to Torin and Brian and Rashard, he probably should just let that one go. But he didn't. That he stood up for his woman, and you know, although I feel like this is scripted, I think that June, July, August might be showing us his true colors, because he gonna step for his woman. Moving on, Torin made a point about June, July coming to him before Shawndreca, and I understand where he's coming from, but you know, if her feelings were hurt, you knew. She was probably embarrassed. You know, she just wanted the situation to be over with. Shawndreca seems to be very at ease when it comes to correcting her friends, or you know, she needs to be a little bit more firm and speak up. But I think that, you know, he knew, you know, she felt some type of way. He probably should have just went ahead and approached his friend about it. But, and not just let your man, you know, she probably shouldn't have let her man just fight all her battles. But, you know, I don't know. If they are really friends, Torin should have spoke up and apologized. Or Shawndreca probably should have just, you know, let him know, call him up and let him know how she felt about it. Moving on, listen, Brian's toupee funeral. You know, I really wish I could have gone and sat in bereavement with the family. Let the soul of Leslie Wig go up into the heavens and sing praises unto the Lord. Amen. Now that the benediction has been said, let's move on over to the repast. At the repast, Torin confronted Shawndreca about the Junebug having to come to him and approach him about, you know, saying something about the situation at the party, instead of it being her. You know, and I've already stated how I felt about the situation, but I really think that if Torin knew, you know, that's how she is, and I get he was trying to get her to show her emotions, but as a friend, as a real friend, if in fact they are friends, you should know the type of friend that you have. You know, someone who doesn't face their emotions. You decided to continue being friends with that person. If you're going to continue to be friends with that person, don't try to change them, and don't try to put them on Front Street. Don't try to embarrass them knowing that, you know, that's how they are and they're going to pull away. But I'm done with that situation. Moving on. He should have apologized, let it go, and she probably should have spoke up a little bit. Just a little bit, Shawndreca. Anyway, this dinner, Todd wanted to settle with Safari, Patrick, Junebug, and Shawndreca was awkward. It was pointless, because why we gotta be friends? For what? Or be cordial? But, you know, like I said, this will be a nice little spin if they just flip this whole situation upside down for a season 2 and make it to where Patrick and Shawndreca gets back together. But that's just me wanting to see a little bit more entertainment. So we're gonna see how this situation play out. But anyway, this dinner or activity, whatever, lunch they got together, it was awkward. It was definitely, it was not needed. I really don't understand the point of that. I get that they work together, Patrick and Shawndreca, but they really don't have a need to interact. He in the parking lot, and she's the host at the front door. And when he comes in, he can just walk past or go through the back door. And if Safari comes in the restaurant and eat, God's know what she gonna eat, cornbread that's not vegan. She could just, you know, come in, be seated, and it seems like Shawndreca is cordial already. She hasn't given much attitude towards the situation. So I don't see it as being a problem. But moving on, they had their little meetup. It was weird. What I really want to talk about is the love stories. Junebug and Shawndreca, they met up on Tinder. The love story was interesting. It works for them. So hey, if they like it, I love it. It is what it is. Safari and Patrick. Now, we've heard this story all, plenty of times before. A guy, sliding in a woman's DMs, chasing after or whatever. We get that part. But Safari said she thought Patrick was a trick. That was a terrible thing to say. She shouldn't have said it, even if she felt that way. Todd said, who raised you? And I felt that. I felt that when he said that. I felt it because I was thinking it. And I know her daddy was sitting back watching the episode like, damn. Because that wasn't ethical at all. You don't do... Ladies, don't do that at home. Moving on. Safari, in the beginning of the season, she gave me a certain type of vibe. But now that I watched this episode, this scene, that vibe was real strong. Because like Shawndreca said, that's a prostitute. And she's right. A prostitute is a prostitute is a prostitute. And if you go back and watch the tape and get Safari's definition of a trick, and then you go back and look at the definition in the dictionary of a prostitute, that's the same thing. But I'm going to leave that one alone. Shifting gears here. Brandon and Dominique needs to figure out who's leaving the building, going to the other restaurant. And like Dominique said, she thinks that it should be Brandon. And guess what? I agree. Patrick, he might be proposing to Safari. So we're going to get to that one in a minute. But Kandi has some concerns and Todd has some concerns, and as they should. Patrick is family and they want to protect him, so I get it. I think after that trick comment, it really wouldn't have been anything she could have said after that to get me to be on her bandwagon, because she shouldn't have said it. It was classless. She should not have said that. We get it, but she shouldn't have said that. I think that Kandi was, sort of kind of pressing the issue though once Safari mentioned what she meant by that. Him being a ladies' man, him saying he was trying to see how many women he could sleep with in Atlanta, that type of stuff does put a woman in a certain mindset. She still shouldn't have said it. But when dealing with, a man, some women, they see that, like how she saw him in the beginning, and they feel like they can change him. And then other women, they're just not going to deal with it. And then there are some women who are delusional and they act like they don't see it. And then there are the Safaris of the world who assume they can just get something from him regardless of, the situation, and think, things are just not going to go anywhere. See, those the women that a lot of men do fall for. So you need to watch out. But she did say she turned that thing around and she expressed how she feels about Patrick. It was nice. She made Kandi cry, but Kandi, she real soft-hearted, so anything will make Kandi cry. I do think that love story between Safari and Patrick is just, hey, I'm not gonna. I'll just leave it at that. That's what I'll do. Moving on. Brian has a new wig. It's moist. The blonde. I liked the blonde wig. I did not like. We're gonna move on in a minute. Anyway, his blonde wig was definitely moist. The meetup, they had a meetup with the gang at Brian's house. It was a bit of a waste of time. It seemed like everybody walked in and was gone in 10 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little more. I don't know. Dominique popped off. That's what I was waiting to see. I couldn't wait to see it. I wanted to see it, but I will say it was awkward. It was exactly what I expected. It was weird because Dominique is a sweet person. I don't know her as a person to be all involved in drama and getting all hyped up. I know she can, but just popping off like that, it was weird, you know. The script just went kind of left in that scene for me, in my opinion. Anyway, Patrick and the family, his mom, old lady gang, and Kandi get together. Patrick is asking all the ladies for their approval. Aunt Bertha already knew what was up. You know, he pulled out the ring, and the ring is beautiful. Patrick is so sweet and proud of him. But, you know, in episode 9, obviously, Patrick is ready to propose. He wants to talk to Safari's father, and that is the right way to go. But before we get into his proposal, in episode 9, it was good to see starting out how Brian and Philip are warming up to one another. Employee and manager relationships should be light as a feather. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be light as a feather like how Brandon and Dominique is. It shouldn't be like that, but it should definitely be where everybody is not walking on eggshells. And of course, there is still that line of respect. So I like to see how Philip is loosening up to Brian and laughing at his jokes and whatnot. Patrick is starting a new luxury dookie line. I meant not to say that part, but I meant to say pour confiant, pour frou line, or whatever he wants to call it. Anyway, he wants Torin to assist again with decor, and I was hoping he did check in with Safari first, but I see the reason why he needed Torin to step in and do the decor. Philip is, you know, apparently a little hottie. He used to be a model. He is going to be a lovely model for Patrick's Pooh Fruity 2 luxury oils and such. And then Todd, he agrees to meet up with Brian about his food truck idea. Seems like everybody that has tried Brian's egg rolls, they like them. Now, folks will eat some egg rolls. And if and when that food truck manifests, I go to Atlanta all the time. I most definitely will be there to show my support, because when it comes to food, I don't like to miss the opportunity to have good food. I will travel to good food, and that's just me. I'm greedy and I'm proud of it. So I will be there to support his food truck if he gets it up and running. Very proud of Brian, you know, continuing to push through. Next, Patrick, you know, as we know, he's doing his, I have to slow down when I say the name, Pour Confiant. I don't want to say much about the name. I'm not going to pick on the name anymore. Everybody else seems to not like it. But that's his dream. We never know what might happen. This thing might explode. So I'm going to leave the name alone. But anyway, they have his photo shoot. Everybody shows up to show their support. I love it. Don Juan is in a robe. He definitely should have got rid of that taco meat like Torin said. Safari is, well, she's the multi-faced photographer. Brian shows up in these Philip Kawasi shirts. Now I don't know why Brian did that. It seemed like he embarrassed Kawasi, and it's like now I can't stop calling him Kawasi. I want to call him Kawasi. I hope I'm saying it right. Kawasi. I like it. I want to call him that. Kawasi. Anyway, the shoot was actually nice. Brian was the best one. He wins. I know it wasn't a competition, but if it was, Brian won. And I'm not being biased. I am, but I'm not. I love me some Brian. He gave that shoot exactly what it needed. The shoot overall, I mean, I don't know how Safari pictures came out, but from what they showed on the show, it turned out wonderful. They had lots of fun, no shade, no hard feelings, just a pleasant, fun atmosphere. And I love that. Shifting gears here. So OLG is looking for new staff. They had this little interview thing going on with these two girls, and I can admit that the first two girls, they did very well, very professional. Hopefully we get to see them in the restaurant. The third girl, Kawasi's brother girlfriend, I got secondhand embarrassment from the interview. She's not a good fit for OLG for where they're going. For where they were, where they just came from, she might have been a good fit. But not with the changes that they're trying to make. And Kawasi should have been, he should have been ashamed to bring her in there like that. Probably should have canceled the interview and maybe tried it another day. But it is what it is. Anyway, Brian and Todd, they finally have their meetup about the egg roll investment. Brian had a mop on his head. And I will say, that is the one. That is the one I did not like. That was the one wig I did not like. That gray and black. That mop has to go. That was it for me. Anyway, Todd is asking for 50%. You know, Brian is asking for $100,000. Todd is asking for 50% of the company. I don't think that was cool. Todd is definitely a stick it to you type of person. I did not agree with that. At least the 49. And that's still, I mean, it's still a lot. But, you know, it just means that 50%, to me in my eyes, it just means that if Brian, you know, if this thing blows up, Brian, in the long run, he won't be able to just make decisions without getting Todd's input or without Todd agreeing to it. That's just how I see it. But beggars can't be choosers. That's why you got to hustle up your own money and invest in yourself. But let's see how this turns out. As I said, it is a great idea. I think it's a hit, and I will definitely support. I love supporting when it comes to food. That's my thing. Anyway, Dominique is leaving in the gang through her a going away activity for, you know, her. Brandon is thinking about starting a family. Sounds like a trap. That definitely is scripted. Like that, she's not going to do that right now. She's a dancer, and one thing about those dancers that are very serious about their dance career, they will not sacrifice their body. She's still young. She still has, you know, quite a bit of time, you know, at least a few more years in her career. So she probably not gonna go for that. Not right now. That scene, I think that scene kind of distracted me a little bit though. They could have done better with the cameras. Maybe set them up in the corners of the wagon thing they was on where they was pedaling the feet. They could have set the cameras up or something. They had a dude hanging out the back of the minivan at the front that was tacky, and my attention span is very short. So excuse me, y'all, for that. I digress. Anyway, Torrin is supposed to be throwing an event. I hope that goes well. We're going to be seeing that in episode 10. Now, moving on from, you know, this activity they did for Dominique, Philip wants to promote Shawndreca, and I love it. They tried to, you know, make her sign a form, and she was like, no. Him and Don Juan tried to make her sign a form based off of her behaviors or different things that she's doing that's out of line or out of policy, and she did not sign it, and I'm glad she didn't. Then after that, they decide to, you know, offer her a, you know, higher position, and congratulations are in order. I am so happy for her. She gets her promotion. Let's see how this goes. Patrick, finally we are on Patrick and the proposal. He goes golfing. He's about to meet the father for the first time, and he goes golfing, or he swinging golf clubs rather, with Safari's father to ask him for his blessing. which I think is very honorable of Patrick. That's honorable of any man to step to that woman's family, father, mother, whoever is next in line. If her father is not available, you know, that is the right way to go. So big ups to Patrick for that. Now they met up, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit afraid when Safari's dad was about to hit the ball. And I can imagine maybe Patrick was feeling the same way I was feeling, because I was a little scared for Buddy. But when he hit that ball, I was like, okay, old timer, he know what he's doing. He got it. He was just warming up. Anyway, Patrick pops the question to Pops and asked if it was all right, you know, to get his blessing. Pops asked all the right questions, and I think Patrick answered the questions quite well. Now his answer, he basically kinda somewhat in a roundabout way, halfway over the ledge, gave Patrick a decent maybe. But that was pretty much it. That wasn't the blessing though. That wasn't the blessing. When the man say, if my daughter is happy, if that's what she wants, she has my full support, or I will support it. That's not it. You're looking for, yes, you have my blessing, you can marry my daughter. That's really what you're looking for. And I think that if the circumstances were different, he would have given a better answer. But maybe it was, you know, for the sake of the show, you know, and he probably knew the relationship wasn't really real, and he was just trying to, you know, go along with the script. I understand. But that definitely was not his blessing. Anyway, that is my review for Kandi and the Gang season 1 episode 8 and 9. If you all like my content, go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think. Stay tuned for episode 10. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.